Okay, so I had made a video showing you the prep work for this, but the initial prep work was deleted, unfortunately. I don't know what happened, but basically I deveined and deseeded dried chiles, namely Chile Guajillo, Chile Puya, and Chile California. And I deveined, deseeded them, put them in water with some salt, and boiled them for at least 25 minutes. You want to do this for at least 25 minutes, if not more. And you are going to use the water in the pot, so don't throw it out when you're done. At this point, I had also boiled my mushrooms and tofu together in a better than bouillon broth that had a half of a large white onion. No, I'm sorry, not half. A quarter of a large white onion and 2 to 4 garlic cloves thrown into the broth, as well as a little bit of cumin seeds and ancho chili powder. So I'll show you what that looks like in a second, but that also got deleted. So before you put your chilies in, devein and deseed them, and then proceed as normal. Here is the final product. It is the tofu. I used oyster mushrooms and king oyster mushrooms in this broth. This was the main meat. There you can see the garlic as well. And I'm sorry, not king oyster mushrooms. I used king trumpet mushrooms. They're a little bit smaller. And oyster mushrooms and tofu. And I wanted to do this just to impart better flavor, but you actually can skip this part. You can just throw the mushrooms and the tofu into the final broth. The other thing that you do have to prepare is the hominy. And the hominy needs to go in water by itself, no salt, for an hour and a half at least. You need to cook it down for an hour and a half with no salt. And this is to bloom the hominy. If you put salt in it, it will not bloom. It has to be unsalted. You will put the salt in afterwards. So I did also roast some garlic and some onion in some olive oil with a little bit of salt. This is going to go in my chili mixture just to impart a little bit more flavor, since this is going to be a completely vegan broth. So your hominy, here we go. This is the kind of hominy that I used. I did open, rinse, and drain the hominy. I don't want to use any of the liquid that's in there, so I poured it out. I rinsed it several times until I was satisfied with the clarity of the water. And then, of course, I put it in a giant pot and filled it with a bunch of water. And you want to fill it with as much water as possible. Especially if you want a very brothy menudo. The amount of water that you see here is equal to 1 gallon and 4 cups, or maybe a little bit more. But this is what you want. You want to put in your hominy, and you want to cook it with 1/2 of a large onion. No salt. Remember, guys, it is so important. No salt. You also want to add however many garlic cloves. I used 5. You can use less. You can use more. I use more because I like the flavor. And we have set our timer for an hour and a half, and that is just going to simmer for an hour and a half on, I think I had it on medium high heat. Then we're going to go ahead and add our chilies to our blender. They should be nice and soft and tender now. And also the garlic and onion, you're going to add however many you like. I didn't use all of that garlic, by the way. But here is the onion. And then we're adding our garlic cloves. I think I ended up using about 3 or 4. And you know what? Do you, however much flavor you want to impart in your vegan menudo, that is going to be up to you. You're also going to use the water from the chiles. Like I told you, don't throw that out. And you want this to be saucy and watery. I don't know why I guess. Anyway, technical difficulties, guys. I didn't know what I was doing, so you're gonna puree the heck out of this. If it's more pasty, add salt to taste here. If it is more pasty than saucy, go ahead and use more of the liquid that you boiled your chilies in. Very important, guys. Do not throw this away. Do not throw away your chili water. It's got the flavor of your chilies. You want to make sure that it's in your sauce. Okay, so here I am. I'm making it. I kind of noticed that it was more pasty than watery, so I did add more water. I just didn't show it, I don't think. The next thing we're preparing are these snow mushrooms or white fungus. You can get these at your Asian store in the dried items aisle next to the shiitake. Mostly, that's where I see them in my Asian stores anyway. So I'm only doing 4 of these because they're pretty big. They'll bloom up pretty big, and all you're going to do is pour hot water over them and then soak them for a half an hour. After a half an hour, they should be fine. So here I am pouring my hot water over them. I put a plate on top of them just to keep them like submerged in the water. A half an hour later, I will come back and fish these out. And then that will be ready for everything to be poured into the sauce. So I emptied my mushrooms and tofu out on a paper towel, and then I squashed them with another paper towel to take out the moisture. And I'm doing this because I'm going to stir fry these mushrooms. Now again, all of this is optional, but I very much recommend it for a better texture. I'm just cooking these on some avocado oil. And I just want to kind of draw out the moisture and get a nice little sear on the tofu and the mushrooms. So I still have 50 minutes till the hominy is ready for me to add everything into it. So I'm just getting ready for everything. This took a long time for me to do, guys. So here is the fungus ready to go. I have drained them. I have washed them. Ready to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut these into quarters. I do remove some of the little orange woody bits. These are the things that I'm going to throw on the white mushroom. So onion powder, paprika, ancho chili powder, and salt. And then I season them, and then also they are going to be put in the same pan that I did the other mushrooms. And yeah, I just cook these until I like how they look, and then I set them aside. They are going to be going into the broth. Part 2 is coming.